Today, we will be exploring how the toxic energy of a narcissist and the abuse they inflict may be causing your anxiety or maybe even panic attacks. Anxiety can be crushing as it can express itself in different ways. For example, there's generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety, specific phobias, there's panic disorder, there's OCD, there's also PTSD, and maybe even hypochondria or somatic symptom disorder. All of these are issues that we do not want to mess with as they can wreak havoc on our lives and relationships, even our health. Most of the time, when dealing with a narcissist, you will experience anxiety. You will experience panic attacks. This is because our minds and our bodies cannot sustain that much trauma, that much game playing, that much confusion for a substantial amount of time. When I talk about that, I think about someone exercising or weightlifting in the gym. If you are weightlifting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, your body will break down. Your body cannot sustain that much force or trauma to the muscles continuously over a long period of time. Now, when we're with a narcissist, just like the muscles of a weight trainer is enduring that much physical, weightlifting, our minds and our bodies are being susceptible to trauma and abuse consistently because we're in the presence of a narcissist. In order to understand a narcissist and the trauma that they cause us, we have to understand their pathology. This type of behavior is embedded within the psyche of this individual. So just as we are breathing right now, and as easy as it is for us to breathe, and as natural and instinctive it is for us to breathe, lying, game playing, confusion, manipulating, gaslighting, this is embedded within the psyche of a narcissist or sociopath. It is what they do. There is no changing it. Some of the lower level narcissists are not aware of what they're doing. It's just natural to them. But a higher functioning narcissist is very calculating. They know exactly what they're doing and they know the exact effect it will have on you. Make no mistake. Narcissists, sociopaths, they are very smart to some degree. And I say to some degree because, once you figure them out, you can see them coming from a mile away and they are so simple to deal with. They're really not that difficult to deal with. Some of us are codependent, so we haven't yet done the inner work that we need to do to separate ourselves from them completely and consistently. But for the most part, those who do the work, a narcissist is easy to defeat. Now, back to anxiety. Being in a relationship with this type of individual, because of their pathology, because of their psyche, it will cause a breakdown in your mind and your body. And I mean a literal breakdown. Some of you guys have already been there, and go ahead and comment below and tell your experience, because you know what? Other people need to hear that. Some people are not convinced that a narcissist or a toxic relationship is causing their anxiety. They just know that they are experiencing anxiety. They don't know where it's coming from. Some people are experiencing panic attacks. Some people don't have a support system to go to. The narcissist may be isolating someone right now that is listening, and this person doesn't have a support system, or if they do, the narcissist has convinced everybody else around them that it's the other person. Yet, and because of this, they're being re-traumatized again. They're being re-traumatized. So they're being traumatized by a narcissist, but then when other people don't validate their experience, they're re-traumatizing them without knowing it. You have to be able to leave a narcissist if you can, because these people are toxic. Their energy is toxic. These sociopaths, they do not care. They will take you through the cycles of abuse again and again and again. I have spoken to countless individuals, several individuals actually, that have been through relationships with narcissists, and their health, the stress, it wore them down so much that they have become disabled because of it. And when you ask these people, what happened? What's your story? The first, they don't even say it was an accident, or they don't say it was something came over them, some sickness, some disease. The first thing they tell me is a relationship. They are so self-aware now, hindsight, that they are able to point to a relationship that caused the breakdown in their mind and eventually in their body. You see, anxiety needs an outlet. And if it doesn't get the outlet that it needs, whether through seeing a therapist, or through journaling, or through exercising, or through just talking to a friend, if you are keeping these things bottled up, anxiety has to have an outlet. And if it doesn't find any, it will go through your emotions. It will take it out on your emotions, and then eventually it will take it out on your body. Stress is nothing to be played with. And PTSD is real. It is absolutely real. And it's crazy that, you can have someone in a relationship with a toxic person go through PTSD or complex PTSD. And you can have someone that's in the military that has actually been through the physical aspects of what causes PTSD and the emotional and mental, of course. But you can have these two individuals, one who's been in the military, and one who's just been in a chaotic, traumatizing situation with a toxic person, and they both have the same symptoms. It's amazing to me. And the root of it, the brunt of it, I would say is anxiety. It's like you have been traumatized. Your emotions, your psyche is raw. You're under constant game playing. You're under constant, you're being traumatized every single day. If you have been thinking about getting therapy for this, get the therapy. If you've been thinking about leaving, go ahead and leave. It's not worth your life. It's not worth your health. And at the end of the day, this person does not care. There are certain things you can do to overcome the anxiety, but it won't have any lasting effects if you are still in contact with this person. If you have to live with a narcissist, you have to implement the gray rock method. You have to educate yourself on what you're dealing with, the type of personality you're dealing with. You have to understand your strengths, your triggers, and your weaknesses. Why? Because the narcissist, this toxic individual, understands what your triggers are, and they are pushing your buttons. And constantly being triggered by it is causing the trauma. They understand what your triggers are. So if you understand what your triggers are first, if you understand what your weaknesses are, you can work to heal that. And that way, no one can trigger you. No one has that much power over you because you understand yourself. The worst thing that can happen is that a narcissist understands us more than we understand ourselves. And in a lot of cases, this is what happened. So go ahead and educate yourself about what you're dealing with. Go ahead and learn what your triggers are, what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are. And then learn how you can disarm and defeat a narcissist. Go ahead and check out my video about that because it's really simple. You have to understand what a narcissist hates, what they can't tolerate, what breaks them down. The thing that breaks a narcissist down is someone not reacting to them, someone ignoring them. I said this in another video. I read different forums, and there are a lot of narcissists and sociopaths who come out today and they say, hey, this is what I am, and they write about it. And this one girl was, she was at work and she's doing her manipulating and doing what she does, and she says, she loves when people come at her just in a very reactive way because she knows that they have been researching things about how to get back at her. So she says she loves that. But she says, never ignore me. What does she mean? Never stop reacting to what I'm doing. Never stop reacting to my triggers. Why? They live for the reaction because this is the only excitement that they get. A sociopath, these toxic people, they are black holes. They have nothing inside. So when they trigger you and you react, that's where they get their enjoyment from. But if you stop doing that, if you stop reacting, if they trigger you and you give no response, or if you do respond, it's without emotion. You cannot show any emotion when you respond. So if they say, oh, look at your hair, it's so ugly today. First of all, you don't have to respond to that. But if you do have to respond, or if you choose to respond, you can say, oh, okay. That they lose it. They don't know what to do with that because now you're fighting above them and you're disarming them. Why? Because now you are in control of yourself. It's all about power for these people. The moment you begin to have self-control, and the moment you are able to regulate your own emotions, that puts you right where you need to be. And that's in control of yourself. You have to be self-control and alert because there is a devil that prowls around seeking whom he may devour. And in this case, it is this toxic person who is coming after you for whatever reason. There are also supplements that you can use. There is a supplement that I highly recommend. It's on Amazon. I'm not a medical professional, but it's called Theanine Serene, and it's for anxiety, and it's to calm your nerves. It's to calm you down, and this will help you to get that control over your emotions when you feel that you are out of control, because anxiety, panic attacks, worrying, it makes you feel so out of control. You don't even know what to do with yourself. And it's such a feeling of despair and hopelessness. But let me tell you that you absolutely have control. You are built for this, that you can overcome this. That these people, although they portray a big and bad persona, they're very easy to defeat and disarm. They're not that hard. Also, I want to just caution everyone about, seeing these coaches online, and, it's good to hear different perspectives on YouTube, and I would recommend that because there are so many good ones. But to see a coach about these type of, PTSD, and this requires a professional. It's like going to, it's like someone, studying medicine but never went through the schooling, and they're like, oh yeah, now people can come to me and I'll tell them how to heal themselves. Well, if you're in an emergency, if you're in an emergency, are you going to go to this person? Can they perform surgery on you when you need it? And the answer is no. You need a medical professional that has been through the training, who can operate on you successfully. When you are in a state of anxiety, PTSD, listen, you need surgery in the form of going to a therapist, paying for a therapist, if you can afford one, to work with you. And not only a therapist, you need to go to one that understands toxic relationships, toxic individuals, toxic behaviors, and narcissists and sociopaths, psychopathy in general. You have to go to one that understands these things, and it will definitely benefit you. So just be wary of different coaches that say they can help. Of course, even if you're going to see a therapist, you have to do your due diligence and, probably see a few before you find one that matches you. But go ahead and, take care of your mental health. So is a narcissist causing your anxiety? If you're researching this, the answer is probably yeah. Because in a healthy relationship, although you have arguments, it's a feeling of safety and comfort. So you really don't Google these type of relationships. But if you're Googling, listen to your gut, listen to your feelings, listen to your intuition, because you probably are. Until next time, guys, take care.